Hello everyone, and welcome once again to the Heir's Lair. I am your host, aspiring author Jonathan Taylor. As I've mentioned before in my social media, on my social media, links in the description, I've been doing a read-through of the Witcher books by Andrzej Sapkowski. And I wanted to make, and using this opportunity, I wanted to make several videos where I give my reviews and impressions of the entire series, one book at a time. I'll try to keep these reviews as spoiler-free as possible, just in case someone who hasn't read the books yet stumbles upon these videos. The topic of today's video, hold up just a minute, is Season of Storms. This book is technically a prequel to the Witcher saga, as in it takes place before other novels within this series. I think chronologically it takes place between the short story compilations. And unlike all of the other novels in the series, it only follows one plot, that of the protagonist, Geralt. He is invited to the city of Karak by Lita Knight, the local sorceress, who wants him to take on a task which is given to him by some of her colleagues. During some shenanigans I won't go into right now, he ends up losing his swords, and is thereby forced to take on both this new task, as well as deal with the turbulent political climate of the city, while also seeking to arm himself. So, what does this book do right? What makes it stand out? One thing I do want to applaud it for is its innovative drive. This book is, for all intents and purposes, the last official piece of work that we're going to see within this, within this universe, within this world. But Sapkowski still manages to find ways to innovate and expand the existing lore and mythos. And it is this spirit of innovation and exploration that really carries the book forward and makes for some strange and engaging stories to tell. The story does go in some weird places, but you can still follow it if you've gotten used to his more naturalistic chaos, as you presumably have if you've gone through the whole series as I have. This is also aided by a more dynamic, a bit more fast-paced writing that he adopts for this book in particular, as compared to the others. For reference, The Lady of the Lake, the previous book in the series, is split across 12 chapters, whereas this book, which is also a third shorter than Lady of the Lake, is split across 20 chapters, plus a prologue and an epilogue, plus various interludes. These divisions not only help to make the story more dynamic, but they also add a bit more context to the world and to the impact the characters have on them, thereby expanding their reputations as well as exploring the consequences of their actions. Fittingly, as this is a Sapkowski's book, a Sapkowski book, his knack for characterization is as good as ever. All major characters and several, actually the majority of the side characters, of which there are quite a few, have well-established personalities and believable and easy to follow motivations. And it is, and really is these motivations exploring the fabric of the social tapestry that brings these characters together that makes the story just a bit more engaging. So again, I have to praise it for that. This book does a lot of the things that Sapkowski generally does well, very well indeed. Are there things this book does badly? Regrettably, the answer to that is yes. As I mentioned in my summary, Geralt has 3 goals outlined for him in this book, and I won't say to what extent he actually accomplishes his goals, but I don't feel like it doesn't really come across as though he really as though his efforts really mattered towards towards accomplishing these goals. It's more like he just lucked into them, or was pushed from one plot point to the next. This has worked in the past for Sapkowski, but whenever he did that in the past, he was able to expand the world in some meaningful way. This ain't it, regrettably. Um, another thing that makes this book stand out, but not in a good way, is the fact that it tries to take on a more comedic tone. There's nothing wrong with these books taking on a comedic tone. Hell, I actually loved a lot of the humor from from the last few books. I think last 2. However, that humor was a lot more naturalistic than it was here, and because it isn't really naturalistic, or it isn't really and it comes off as forced. That's my main point. It comes off as forced, and because of that, it undercuts a lot of the tension that Sapkowski is trying to build in those respective scenes. It is kind of disappointing because he has up until now in other books been able to integrate the emotional beats of his story with his action beats. Only now those emotional beats are out of sync with the rest. So he kind of lost his touch. Oh well, not everything you write is going to be your best. All in all, I have to say that if we were to look at the Witcher series as though it were a TV series, Season of Storms is the cast reunion miniseries that takes place a decade or 2 after the original series concluded. There is still a lot of what made that original series good and memorable that is still there. However, because of the new framing, because of the things that have changed outside of the story, so to speak, and because of the things the story is trying to tell us right now, it doesn't really have the same magic anymore. It doesn't reach the new heights that it was able to in the past. However, it is still a fun run for for all the fans who missed the golden years of the series. My final rating for Season of Storms is a 3 out of 5. And that was it. That was the last of the Witcher books. I have now read and reviewed all of them. That being said, I still think there is something that could be said about the series. Maybe some things that I haven't mentioned while doing the individual reviews, or maybe something that only really materializes when you look at the series collectively. And therefore I want to make one more video exploring that. But that is a topic for another time. For now, I would like to say thank you very much for your attention, and I would also want to ask you to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, comment if you have anything to add. The comment section awaits your input regardless. And if you want to see when the next video comes out, then I suggest you go ahead and subscribe. Maybe also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube asks of you in order for you to get notified. Until next time, I'm Jonathan Taylor, and this has been the Heir's Lair.